The atomic bomb ended the war, but radar won the war for the Allies.
There was no reference to us.
It was to be secret for 30 years.
Many historians will support the statement.
We had to be quiet or we could be charged with treason.
Many historians will support the statement that there were two important inventions in World War II. One was the radar, and the other was the atomic bomb.
The bomber people had found that getting to their target at night was very unproductive because they were missing the target areas.
From headquarters, they all got the signal. Whoever was closest to the bomber would be authorized to go and shoot it down.
OBO was a very specialized system that was able to mark target areas very precisely. And OBO was controlled by ground stations in England, and they can control the Pathfinder aircraft, and they could mark targets within the yards of the target at nighttime.
The main secrecy of it was that it was all tied in together with the Army, Navy, and the Air Force.
The archives of the Air Force shows our career was blank from the day we left Canada for overseas, and there was no reference to us until we got discharged.
Number one reason, it was secret. The war was over, we did our job, we're told we're secret. I think most of us didn't think we were doing a very big job.
The 50-year anniversary, there's a few of us in Ottawa. We were aware of being in a radar. We decided then and there that we should have a reunion in Canada, but there was no list of radar people to be established except by advertising and things of this sort. So I think it's just because we decided that we should do something about it to get our story into the public media. It took a number of years to get together and to find our radar colleagues. The first reunion was in 1996, and then we had a reunion in Ottawa, and our first years were spent in developing lists of radar people to get their names and addresses. When they opened up the new museum, we found there was no reference to radar, and it was determined then that we in Ottawa would do our best to get something into the museum.
Well, we did have a display of 26 panels in the old museum, but when the new museum started, it didn't have the technology that they were looking for there. 30 years later or 50 years later, what did they know about it? They didn't know how important it was. It took a long time to convince them and to come up with something, which they did, that fitted into the complex of the whole business there.
And they said that there were a number of other military groups that were very interested in getting their story publicized. We felt that we would, since we got stuff into other museums, we surely got to get it into the War Museum, and consequently, in 2011, we made our first attempts to do that.
So I don't blame what happened on anyone, but I'm very pleased with what we have now in the new museum. It's not the end, but it's a foot in the door, and it can be modernized and changed and this kind of thing once it's there, which it is.
I'm pleased that we finally got it. A bit disappointed in the lack of emphasis on the program. Several items that they've missed, which is disappointing. But at least the important thing is that we do have a display after all these years of in our Canadian War Museum.
At least they said they would get some material into the exhibit, which would bring to the public's attention that there was a special group of servicemen who were in radar.
I guess the end of the war and VE Day, Victory Day, because I was over in England and participated in the celebrations, and when you had gone and seen so much, you realized how happy you were and how better the world was going to be, and you were part of it. So it was just happiness and proudness to be a Canadian and to be a winner.